How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I have some pretty spicy news today in relation to the London Irish. All right. So if you didn't know, the London Irish have just been bought by a consortium led by a guy named Eddie Jordan. Now, Eddie Jordan, he's more mainly focused in relation to F1, but he does already own a French Division 2 team called Béziers Herald. Now, they have just purchased the London Irish, which is absolutely brilliant to see because it's going to open up so many different avenues, right? And it's going to bring back a very old, an old set of supporters and a brand new set of supporters in relation to certain news that have come to light with Eddie Jordan purchasing a London Irish. Now, they bought the intellectual property, they bought the brand, the rights, and so on. But the one thing that they didn't buy was the training ground. And I do believe this was separate to the deal to sell it before, right? I think it's because of debt and things like that. So they didn't actually end up buying the training ground. But they are now obviously looking into a couple of different avenues, obviously where they're going to be playing in the future and so on. So there has been talks in relation to potentially Brentford's community stadium and potentially playing their rugby there. There is also a potential joint interest with QPR at Loftus Road, where I do believe they already played. Loftus Road has already held Premiership rugby in the past, right? So there won't be that much difference in relation to that. It is doable, and yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see. Um, it's going to be very interesting to see where and how they they play their rugby. So look, am I excited by this? Yes, 100%. I think people should genuinely be interested by this, and the reason being is because they are potentially looking into the URC. Now, so to some of you might not think, oh, why, right? I feel having the Harlequins already in London, it opens up a completely different avenue to supporters, to revenue into London and not only into your local your supporters, you're also nationwide supporters, right? Because with a London club joining the URC, right? There's also talks of the Wasps as well, but if the London Irish were to join the URC, we would have the likes of Leinster. We would have the likes of um, the Sharks, the Bulls. So we would have the Irish, I believe the Welsh. We would have the South African. All of these nations would now be coming to London, right? How amazing would that be? Obviously, with me, I follow a lot in terms of Irish and South African rugby. I follow the Sharks, I follow Leinster, I follow Munster, the Bulls, Stormers, and to be able to see some of my favorite, some of my favorite rugby players, some of my favorite rugby teams coming to London, that would be so amazing as a personal fan because I only live an hour away out of London, right? It's not that far. It's a relatively easy trip, right? Now, not only would we be getting amazing Premiership rugby in London, we would also be getting amazing URC rugby in London, seeing some of the best stars in the world, the biggest names coming down into London to play. How amazing would that be? Not only would you have the Irish supporters, right? You'd have the entire nation that could potentially get behind this club. And I think it would only do brilliantly for the communities. I think it would be brilliant for the game of rugby as well to have something like this in London, and also then providing such a big support um, to English rugby, right? So I think this could also have the likes, and this is me being extremely, what shall we say, optimistic in terms of like English talent and having them more based at home as well, seeing the likes of, you know, um, Tom Willis in France, where he can't play for England because he plays in the French league, and that would potentially mess things up, same with the URC and so on. So hopefully having this kind of talent at home, even though it's in a different league, it would definitely make it much easier for the likes of players to change. Whether they want to come to the Gallagher Premiership, it's not going to be that much of a big change going from France or South Africa or Ireland, where they'll already be England based. But again, that's just me being super, super optimistic and hopeful, because why would someone like Jacques Willis, who has been officially adopted by the French, why would he want to come back to England per se? Because some of the best rugby in the world is in France. Some of the best players in the world are in France. Some of the best money is in France. So what would what would the general want there for him to come back, or any other players that go to France? Why would they want to come back? So this for me is a very bright and a very promising thing, and I really, really hope that the British and Irish Lions end up joining the URC. I think this would be a big, big benefit to English rugby and to the people around us, to our communities, to England, to be able to see week in, week out, potentially some of the best rugby players coming to England to play their trade, right? Plus, having a fresh start, this would also allow for a lot of players to come and join, right? So we could again see a lot of international stars potentially join the club. Now, talking on that, there's a lot of debate in relation to obviously the London Irish being bought. Should they go back immediately into top division rugby, right? Or should they have to start from the bottom and work their way up? Right? There's a lot of debate here, and I want to hear what you guys think, because I can understand it from both sides, but I can't necessarily make up my mind as to whether, because they are a big club, they have a lot of potential to join the URC, they could, you know, they could come straight in and start knocking down doors. But because of their history, should they start from the bottom and work their way up, right? As if it was potentially a new club as such. So let me know your thoughts in relation to that. I want to know what you guys think. And guys, please, as always, like and subscribe, as it really, really does help my channel grow. And I just want to provide you guys with the best content possible. So no matter where you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon, night, guys, have a lovely day, and catch you guys in the next one. Bye.